Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U are easily my favorite entries in the Smash Bros. Series to date. Sure, there are some small things I would change about them, but overall, the fighting gameplay and character selection have never been better. Now that Smash Bros. For Wii U has been out a couple of months, I feel like it's finally time to count down my personal top 5 fighters in the game. Now keep in mind, this list is all my opinion and is based solely on who I use the most, which characters I think are fun. I'm not really a competitive player, so I'm sure that some of my picks will frustrate and confuse some of you out there, and I readily acknowledge that I will receive a fair bit of hate for some of my choices. Without further ado, let's kick things off with number 7. Number 7. Duck Hunt. To be honest, I'm awful with using Duck Hunt. None of the moves in his moveset click with me, and I ultimately end up playing dead with him, rather than actually being a potent fighter. Why he's on the list is for the sheer novelty of having such a random and obscure character in the game. Who would have thought that we would have the Duck Hunt dog in a Smash Bros. Game? While I can't use his moves all that well, I think that they are incredibly creative and inspired. Having the duck ride on the dog's back and assist in a variety of moves is such a cool mechanic to add to the dog. Not to mention all of his awesome ranged attacks like the Frisbee or Can, or even how he can call in the Wild Gunman to assist. At the end of the day, I still suck at using Duck Hunt, but I think he's truly one of the most unique and creative characters in Smash, and you can't help but love that laugh. Number 6. Toon Link. While I've always been a fan of original Link, Toon Link appeals to me just a little bit more. Besides the obvious charm and style to his model, the increased speed to his movement and attacks makes him an obvious alternative to regular Link. Everything from his bombs to his hookshot and even to his regular attacks mirror regular Link, just with small changes to their effects and speed. In Smash Bros. Brawl, he was my go-to character, but in Smash 4 he seems just a little bit different. Not bad per se, but changed just slightly enough to make him not be one of my all-time favorites in the game. That being said, I still enjoy playing as him from time to time, and he's still my favorite version of Link. Number 5. Bowser. Like Duck Hunt, I don't really play as Bowser that much, but that doesn't exclude him from this list. He made the list because of the massive improvement he's undergone from Brawl and Melee. In those games, he was hunched over and generally one of the slowest characters in the game. Dealing with him before Smash 4 was a semi-easy task because of how slow he was. Fast forward to Smash 4 and it's almost like he's a brand new character. His posture was corrected, his speed greatly increased, and most of his moves deal extra amounts of damage and have super armor on them. Bowser finally feels like the Grand King Koopa he's been portrayed as, and poses a much greater threat to the rest of the Smash Bros. Cast. Number 4. Little Mac. No, I wasn't one of those people who constantly used Little Mac online for the first couple weeks of the game's launch, but I did constantly fight against them. If there's one thing I learned from all of those fights, it's that Little Mac is both awesome and kind of awful. His sheer power while on the ground is truly incredible. His forward smashes, specials, and tilts almost all deal out insane amounts of damage, and most of his attacks have super armor on them too. The only downside to all of this is that his air game is almost non-existent. If you get knocked off the stage, it's more than likely you won't be able to get back on. For me, this creates an interesting dynamic when I play as him. I can usually deal damage pretty fast and even KO people, but when someone knocks me off of the edge, or uses a very aerial-oriented character against me, I'm a sitting duck and usually lose. Ever since playing the original Punch-Out, I've always thought that having Little Mac in Smash Bros. Would be awesome. I just wasn't sure how they could incorporate a boxer. Sakurai found a way that has both positives and negatives, and makes Little Mac one of the more interesting characters to play as and play against. Number 3. Dr. Mario. While many were questioning the return of the Doc to Smash 3DS and Wii U, I was welcoming him back. In Smash Bros. Melee, he was my go-to main. While Mario's playstyle has always been one of my favorites, I always liked the smaller changes they made to Dr. Mario to differentiate the two. Dr. Mario is slightly slower than regular Mario, but his attack is slightly increased as well. Besides the differences in attack and speed, Dr. Mario also has the Dr. Tornado, which replaces Flood, and has pills which he administers daily. Dr. Mario remains one of my favorite combatants to this day, and I'm glad that he's in Smash 4, so I can finally say that the Doctor is in. Number 2. Ganondorf. No, this is not a joke pick. I sincerely like Ganondorf as a character. Ganondorf was one of my mains in Smash Bros. Brawl, and I'm happy to say that he's still one of my favorites in Smash 4 as well. The reason I prefer Ganondorf to Captain Falcon is probably the reason why Ganondorf is usually at the bottom of most tier lists. His slow speed and high attack is a stark contrast to Captain Falcon's high speed and slightly lower damage, and for whatever reason, I really enjoy it. Hitting people with his Warlock Punch or Meteor smashing them down with his Air Stomp is extremely satisfying and makes me keep coming back to the character. If there's one gripe I have about Ganondorf as a whole, it's that his sword wasn't incorporated at all into his normal moveset. I'd love to see him swinging that thing around, but for now, I still enjoy the default Dorf. And my number 1 Smash Bros. 3DS and Wii U character is... As you've seen throughout the majority of the video, my favorites are nowhere near the top of the tier list. This trend continues for my number 1 pick. It's none other than the Pack Attack himself, Pac-Man. I've always personally been a big Pac-Man fan. From his original game where you collect all of the dots, and even to some of his 3D platforming games like Pac-Man World. I've always found the character to be one of the most iconic mascots of all time, and when I heard that Namco was helping develop the game, I was secretly wishing for the Pac to join the fray. Of the various reasons I like Pac-Man, probably the biggest is his moveset. All of his moves are so varied and unique and draw inspiration and ideas from older classic Pac-Man games. Pac-Man truly plays like a blend of modern and classic Pac-Man, and it's so awesome that they were able to pull off a hybrid moveset like that. My fingers are crossed that in the next Smash, Pac-Man won't be dropped like other third-party characters. I like him that much that I'd hate to see him go. And with that, I've listed my top 7 Smash Bros. Characters. They certainly aren't the most powerful or even the highest tier, but they are generally the ones that I use the most when I play. I agree with my list. Maybe you disagree. Perhaps you think that Jigglypuff is number 1 and that Ganondorf is number 0. Feel free to comment and leave your thoughts and opinions below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.